The nursery door creaked open at 3 a.m., and Zara knew, without looking, that Minho was there again, watching their daughter sleep like she might disappear if he looked away. 6 months of fatherhood hadn't diminished his protective intensity. If anything, it had amplified it to dangerous levels. She found him standing over the crib, still in his work clothes, exhaustion carved into his beautiful features, one hand gently stroking their daughter's tiny back. "You're going to wake her," Zara whispered, moving beside him. He didn't look away from a baby. "I can't help it. Every time I think about how close I came to losing you both, how easily everything could have gone differently." His jaw clenched. "Someone tried to kill me while you were pregnant. What if they'd succeeded? What if she'd grown up without knowing me? But they didn't succeed. We're here. We're safe. Are we?" His eyes finally met hers, and she saw the fear beneath his controlled exterior. "Because I built a life that still attracts danger. Because my past isn't as buried as I thought it was. Because loving you both makes me vulnerable in ways I never imagined." Welcome back to Afro-Korean Tales, besties. You've been following, and I heard you loud and clear. This is part 2. We're diving straight back into Minho and Zara's world. And trust me when I say things are about to get incredibly complicated. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, go back and catch up because this story builds on everything that came before. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you don't want to miss what happens next. Let's get into it. The conversation was interrupted by their daughter, Ji-sun, waking with a soft cry. Minho had her out of the crib in seconds, cradling her against his chest with practiced tenderness that still made Zara's heart melt. She watched as he murmured to her, in Korean, gentle words of comfort and protection, promises to keep her safe from everything. Later, back in their bedroom with Ji-sun sleeping peacefully again, Minho pulled Zara close. "I've been thinking about something." "What?" "Leaving Seoul." His words hung in the darkness between them. "What do you mean leaving?" "I mean taking you and Ji-sun somewhere safe. Singapore, maybe, or the States. Somewhere my enemies can't reach you. Somewhere our daughter can grow up without security details and armored cars." Zara pulled back to look at him. "You're serious?" "Completely. I can run the business remotely. The important thing is keeping you both safe. Minho, running won't solve anything. Your enemies will follow. You know they will. Then I'll eliminate them first." The coldness in his voice reminded her that beneath the devoted husband and father existed someone capable of extreme violence when protecting what he loved. The next morning brought complications neither of them anticipated. Zara was feeding Ji-sun when Ji-woo appeared, looking more shaken than Zara had ever seen her. "Mrs. Kong, there's someone here to see Mr. Kong. She says she's his wife." The bottle nearly slipped from Zara's hands. "What?" "His first wife. From before. She has documentation proving they never legally divorced." The woman sitting in Minho's office was devastatingly beautiful. Korean, elegant, cold as ice. Her name was Yoon Seo-jin, and she had official papers claiming her marriage to Minho was still legally binding. "I was 18, she explained with calculated precision. "Our families arranged it. We separated after 6 months, and I moved to Europe. I assumed the divorce was finalized. Apparently, there was an administrative error. The documents were never properly filed." Minho stood behind his desk, every muscle tense. "What do you want, Seo-jin?" "What I'm owed." She crossed her legs with deliberate elegance. "Our marriage makes me entitled to 50% of everything you've built. Unless, of course, we can reach an alternative arrangement. Get out." His voice was deadly quiet. "Now, I don't think so." She pulled out her phone, displaying photographs. "You see, I've been monitoring your life quite closely. Your American wife, your daughter, your beautiful family. It would be unfortunate if certain business partners discovered your current marriage is technically bigamy. If immigration authorities questioned your wife's visa status. If child services received anonymous concerns about Ji-sun's welfare." Zara, watching through the security monitors with Ji-woo, felt ice flood her veins. This woman wasn't just after money. She wanted to destroy everything they'd built. Minho leaned forward, hands flat on his desk, and Zara recognized that particular posture. It meant he was contemplating violence. "Name your price," he said flatly. Seo-jin smiled. "Half your company or I go public with everything. You have 48 hours to decide. After she left, Minho came to find Zara in the nursery. His expression was carefully blank, but she could see the fury simmering beneath. We need to talk. I heard everything. The monitors, remember? She's bluffing. She has to be. She's not. Minho ran both hands through his hair in frustration. I thought the divorce was finalized years ago. I paid my family's lawyer to handle everything. Obviously, someone didn't do their job, or did it deliberately. This can't be happening. We just survived a kidnapping and assassination attempts. Now, I'll handle it, he promised. I'll make this go away. How? By giving her what she wants? Never. His arms came around her, and Ji-san. I'll find another way. But what if she goes public? What if she's serious about immigration and child services? Then we fight. His jaw was set. We've survived worse. We'll survive this. But surviving proved more complicated than anticipated. Over the next 48 hours, Seo-jin made good on her threats. Anonymous tips reached immigration authorities questioning Zara's visa status. Business partners received documents suggesting Minho's personal life was unstable. Tabloids got wind of the story and exploded with speculation. Korean billionaire's American wife might not be legal. Bigamy scandal rocks corporate empire. Everything they'd built was crumbling. Zara watched Minho deteriorate under the pressure. He barely slept, working around the clock with lawyers, trying to find solutions. The exhaustion carved deeper lines into his face, and she caught him more than once just staring at Ji-sun with heartbreaking intensity, like he was memorizing her features in case he lost access to her. The breaking point came when Child Protective Services appeared at their door for a welfare check, triggered by anonymous concerns about Ji-sun's safety. Minho's rage was volcanic. He made calls, activated connections, and within hours had traced the reports directly to Seo-jin. She's declared war, he told Zara that night, his voice empty of emotion. So I'm ending it. What does that mean? It means I'm calling in old favors. Using methods I swore I'd left behind. Doing things you shouldn't know about. Don't. Zara grabbed his face, forcing him to look at her. Don't become that person for me. There has to be another way. There isn't. His eyes were bleak. She's threatening everything I love. I won't let her win. But what's the point of keeping us together if you destroy yourself in the process? The question hung between them. Minho pulled away, and Zara felt the distance opening like a chasm. He was retreating into the cold, ruthless businessman she'd first met, the one who solved problems with money and power and violence. The transformation terrified her because she recognized he was doing it for them, sacrificing the man he'd become to protect what they'd built together. That night, Zara made a decision. She contacted Seo-jin directly, requesting a private meeting. Against Minho's explicit orders and his security team's protests, she went alone to meet the woman threatening to destroy their family. They met at an upscale cafe, two women circling each other like predators. You're brave, Seo-jin observed, or foolish, coming here without your husband's protection. I'm not here for protection. I'm here to understand what you really want, because half of Minho's company isn't it. Women like you don't waste years of silence just for money. Seo-jin's expression flickered with something that might have been respect. You're perceptive. Maybe that's why he chose you. Chose me for what? To replace you? To be what you couldn't be? Seo-jin's composure cracked slightly. You know nothing about what I was to him, about what we were supposed to be. Then tell me. Because right now you're destroying a man who never meant to hurt you. He hurt me by existing, Seo-jin said quietly. By being forced into a marriage neither of us wanted. By looking at me with such complete indifference that I felt invisible. Do you know what it's like being married to someone who feels nothing for you? Who can't even pretend desire? That's why you left. Yes. And I rebuilt my life. Found success. Found someone who actually wanted me. Then I heard about you. About how he'd changed. About the way he looked at you like you were oxygen. Her hands clenched around her coffee cup. Everything I couldn't inspire in him, you created effortlessly. That's not my fault. No, but destroying what you have makes the pain of what I didn't have slightly more bearable. Zara leaned forward. You want him to hurt like you hurt. I understand that. But you're punishing the wrong person. Minho didn't choose to be incapable of loving you. He didn't know he could feel anything until I appeared. That wasn't personal rejection. That was him being fundamentally broken in ways neither of you understood. And destroying us won't fix your pain. It'll just create more. Jean was quiet for a long moment. Then what would you have me do? Walk away with nothing? Walk away with the knowledge that he's capable of love now. That he's happy. That whatever you went through wasn't meaningless, because it led him to eventually find someone he could connect with. Your marriage may have been loveless, but it taught him what he didn't want. That matters. You're asking me to be noble. I'm asking you to be human. Zara pulled out her phone, showing pictures of Ji-sun. This is our daughter. She's 6 months old. She's innocent in all of this. If you destroy her father, if you tear our family apart, you're not hurting him or me. You're hurting her. Is that really the legacy you want? To be the woman who orphaned a child, emotionally, just to settle a score? Something in Jean's expression shifted. She looked at the photos for a long time, and when she finally spoke, her voice was rough. I wanted him to suffer. I wanted him to understand what it felt like being powerless in your own life. But you're right. This isn't about him anymore. It's about me still being angry at choices I didn't make. Still punishing myself by punishing others. So what now? Zara asked carefully. Now, Jean stood. Gathering her belongings, I walk away. I'll finalize the divorce properly this time. No demands, no blackmail. But tell your husband something for me. Tell him I hope he appreciates what he has. Because some of us spend our entire lives searching for what he found by accident. After she left, Zara sat alone in the cafe, shaking with adrenaline and relief. She'd gambled everything on appealing to Jean's humanity, and somehow it had worked. But Minho's reaction to her unauthorized meeting was less positive. Are you insane? He paced their bedroom like a caged predator. She could have hurt you, could have used that meeting to gather more ammunition against us. But she didn't. She agreed to walk away. Because I talked to her like a human being instead of an enemy. Not everything requires your particular brand of problem-solving, Minho. Sometimes people just need to be seen and heard. You took an incredible risk. I took the only risk that mattered. Fighting her your way would have made you into someone I don't recognize. Someone Ji-sun shouldn't grow up with. His expression crumpled. I was ready to do terrible things, Zara. Things that would have destroyed whatever good I've managed to build. I know. That's why I stopped you. We protect each other, remember? Even from ourselves. The legal resolution took another week, but Jean kept her word. The divorce was finalized properly. The threats disappeared, and slowly their life returned to its new normal. But something had fundamentally shifted. Minho had come too close to reverting to his darkest instincts, and a near miss haunted him. I need to make real changes, he told Zara one evening while they watched Ji-sun play on her activity mat. Not just transitioning business operations to legitimate frameworks. I need to cut ties with everyone from my old life. Everyone who represents that version of me. That's a big step. It's necessary, because the next time someone threatens our family, I need to not have those options available. I need to have burned those bridges so thoroughly that violence isn't even a possibility. Over the next 6 months, Minho did exactly that. He systematically dismantled every connection to his family's criminal past, sold off questionable business interests, and rebuilt his empire on completely legitimate foundations. It cost him significant money and influence, but he was adamant. Our daughter deserves better than a father with blood on his hands, he insisted. Zara watched him transform yet again, this time deliberately choosing to be someone worthy of their family. It wasn't easy. Former associates tried intimidation, then threats, then outright attacks when Minho refused to back down. There were weeks when security doubled, when they couldn't leave the penthouse, when Minho returned home with bruises he tried to hide. But he never wavered. The final test came when his own father appeared, demanding Minho honor family obligations. The old man was everything Minho had worked to escape from. Cold, ruthless, utterly convinced that power came from fear. They met in Minho's office, and Zara watched through monitors as father and son faced each other. You're weak, the old man spat. Throwing away everything I built for what? A woman and a child? Family, makes you vulnerable. It makes you strong, Minho corrected. Something you never understood. You taught me power comes from control, from fear, from keeping everyone at a distance. But you were wrong. Real power comes from having something worth protecting, from being willing to change everything to deserve the people who love you. His father sneered. Pretty words from a man who's lost half his influence. I'd rather have half the influence and all the humanity than be like you. Empty, alone, feared but never loved. Now get out, and don't come back. We're done. You'll regret this. Maybe, but at least I'll have people who care enough to stand beside me when I do. After his father left, Minho sat alone in his office for an hour. When he finally emerged, Zara was waiting. You okay? He pulled her close, burying his face in her hair. I just severed my last tie to who I was. It should feel like loss. Instead, it feels like freedom. Ji-sun's first birthday became a celebration of more than just her life. It marked a year since Minho had begun his transformation from ruthless CEO to devoted family man. A year since Zara had walked into his office and awakened something he thought was impossible. A year of surviving threats, overcoming obstacles, and building something real. The party was intimate, just close friends and chosen family. No business associates, no obligations, just people who genuinely cared. Watching Minho with Ji-sun, laughing as she destroyed her birthday cake, Zara felt overwhelming gratitude for the journey that had brought them here. Later, after Ji-sun was asleep and the guests had departed, Minho found Zara on the penthouse balcony looking out over Seoul. Join me? He asked, wrapping his arms around her from behind. Always. They stood in comfortable silence, and eventually Minho spoke. I've been thinking about what Seo Jin said, about how I found you by accident. What about it? I don't think it was an accident. I think you were exactly what I needed exactly when I needed it. The universe doesn't make mistakes like that. So you believe in fate now? The man who built an empire on calculated decisions and strategic planning believes in destiny? When it comes to you, absolutely. Because there's no logical explanation for why a contract marriage became the most important thing in my life. No strategic reason why loving you would transform everything I thought I knew about myself. Zara turned in his arms to face him. And if he could go back, if he could avoid all the pain and danger and complications, I wouldn't change a single thing. Every moment of fear, every threat, every obstacle was worth it to get here. To have you, to have Ji-sun, to finally understand what it means to be fully human. They kissed under the Seoul night sky. Two people who'd built something beautiful from the coldest beginning imaginable. Inside, their daughter slept peacefully, unaware of the incredible love story that had created her. Unaware that her parents had fought through danger and doubt and near destruction to build a family worth every sacrifice. But their peaceful moment was interrupted by Minho's phone buzzing insistently. He ignored it first, but it continued until he finally checked. His expression darkened immediately. What is it? Zara asked, recognizing that look. We have a problem. What kind of problem? The kind that involves someone I thought was dead resurfacing. Someone who knows things about my past that could destroy everything I've built. His jaw clenched. And they're demanding a meeting, or they go public with information that would demolish my legitimate business interests and potentially land me in prison. Zara felt ice in her veins. Who? My half-brother. The one who was supposed to have died in a gang war 5 years ago. Apparently, he's very much alive, very angry about being abandoned, and very interested in making me pay for leaving him behind when I cleaned up my life. This was supposed to be over. We were supposed to be safe now. I know. Minho pulled her close, and she could feel tension vibrating through his entire body. But apparently, my past isn't done with me yet. So what do? We meet him. We find out what he wants. And then we handle it together. Like we handle everything. His arms tightened around her. I won't let him destroy what we've built, Zara. I promise you that. But as they stood together on the balcony, both of them knew that promises were easier made than kept. The past had a way of demanding payment. And Minho's past was darker and more complicated than even Zara fully understood. Inside, their daughter slept peacefully, unaware that her family's hard-won peace was about to be tested once again. unaware that her father's demons weren't finished with him yet. Minho looked down at Zara, and she saw fear mixed with determination in his eyes. "Whatever comes next, we face it together," he said quietly. "No more secrets. No more trying to protect you by keeping you in the dark. If my brother is back, if he's threatening us, you deserve to know everything. Every dark corner of who I was and what I did. Are you sure? Once I know, you can't take it back." "I'm sure, because you've shown me that love doesn't mean presenting only your best parts. It means trusting someone with your worst parts and believing they'll stay anyway. So I'm trusting you with everything, even the parts that might make you question who I am." They went inside together, and as Minho began to tell her stories about his past, about the things he'd done before she'd walked into his office and changed everything, Zara realized their journey was far from over. Love wasn't just about the beautiful moments. It was about standing beside someone when their demons came calling. It was about choosing each other even when the past tried to tear them apart. And as she listened to Minho's confession, holding his hand while he revealed the darkest parts of himself, she made a silent promise. Whatever came next, whatever his brother wanted, whatever threats emerged from the shadows of his past, they would face it together. Because that's what love meant. Not just celebrating the victories, but standing together through the battles. Not just sharing the light, but refusing to abandon each other in the darkness. And somewhere in Seoul, Minho's brother was planning his revenge, preparing to destroy everything his half-sibling had built, unaware that he wasn't just facing the ruthless O anymore. He was facing a man who had something worth fighting for. A man who discovered that love made you not weaker, but infinitely stronger. A man who would burn the world down before letting anyone hurt his family. The real battle was just beginning. And this time, Minho wouldn't be fighting alone. All right, besties, that wraps up part 2 of Minho and Zara's story. But trust me when I say their journey is far from over. Part 3 is coming, and things are about to get even more intense. What did you think of Seo Jin's redemption? Are you ready to meet Minho's brother? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out my playlist for more stories that'll make your heart race. See you in part 3.